So a guy wants to put AC on his RV pop-up camper here. Watched a lot of videos. Obviously I was going to put one on the roof, but turns out it's like $1,500 to get that installed, and that wasn't going to work for us. So I started looking at other options, and what's common is people doing all sorts of stuff to their RV, cutting holes in and stuff, and I didn't want to do any of that. What they do other than that then is they take window units and they mount them up here on a window, but that just seemed really heavy and hard to set up. So what I've done is kind of my own thought on taking a window unit and putting it on an RV. I've come up with this get up here. It's actually a very light piece of attachment that's going to go on the RV. No holes in the screen, it's just resting up there. It just tucks up underneath the RV lid, and if you can get it in there right, it just sits in there like that. And I've got these two hoses that are going to come off and go to the air conditioning window unit, which is just going to sit under here when it's done. And these are little fast release things I got over at Home Depot. And basically the hose will be attached on here, and so when you're putting this away, you can put it away and stash it on its own. Take the hoses separately because they'll just pop in and out real easily. And what we did to the window unit to make that work is right over here. So this is the window unit. This is brand new, just got it today. It's a little cheap one, and you can see it's kind of disassembled. So a window unit blows cold air out at the top here, and it returns air from the room down here. And then everything over here is out in the elements, but all of this is meant to be indoors. So what I'm going to do is run two pipes. As you saw, there was two holes in the RV. One to the vents and one to the return unit. But since these vents are so awkward shaped, what I actually did is covered those over with insulation and taped that shut so it's airtight, taped it over on the outside, and actually installed this vent right here on the top. And so all the air that wants to come out here is going to be forced through this hole and up to the RV. And so that's where the air is going to come from. Again, these hoses can be handled separately and disconnected and just taken off really simply. And then on here for the return unit, I took this used to be a cat litter box, basically a plastic container. It's about the right size. And I'm going to just tape it on there so it's airtight and doesn't let any air around, and then run a hose to that as well. Probably paint this white so it looks a little bit better. But that's the idea, and that should give us transfer of air back to the AC and then transfer of air back to the RV through two separate hoses. Should work just like if it was in the room. So that's the plan. I'll post a little bit later what it looks like when it's running and how it does.